16 episode, The Margian Chronicles, the show takes a comedic but surprisingly grounded look at a private company offering ordinary people a chance to become the first settlers on the Red Planet.
We're preparing to launch the first privately funded manned mission to Mars.
The year they choose for this giant leap, 2026. In the episode, the company Exploration Incorporated promises to build the first Martian colony and begin transporting volunteers within a decade. Lisa, ever curious and hopeful about science, immediately signs up. The rest of the family follows, each for their own quirky reasons. Of course, everything spirals into chaos the way only Springfield can manage.
Big guy antics. It's your boy, Big Guy. I got another reaction for you guys today. The reactions have been going crazy lately. You guys have been showing so much love. I appreciate all the love.
What up, family? We back up in this joint. I pray you guys are doing well. Thank you for rocking with your boy. If you guys here for the first time, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hey, this particular one is predictions by the Simpsons. I know. For some reason, they seem to know what's going on. So they got some crazy, wild predictions from this video for the Simpsons for 2026. Let's go ahead and get started and see what the dilly is. And man, let's go.
In the predictions, the Simpsons actually got right for 2026. While some dismiss these Simpsons predictions as simple probability, others see them as glances into the future or unusual coincidences. With over 800 episodes in the vault, The Simpsons indeed has a massive volume of data to pull from, but the sheer accuracy of their 2026 predictions is forcing even skeptics to look closer. Today, we're not just looking at the lucky guesses, we're diving into two specific episodes that seem to predict our current reality, starting with a 1993 episode that mirrors our world so closely. And after you hear about this episode, it's hard to believe it's simply a coincidence. Chances are, if you've seen the news lately, you have heard about the current health scare people are facing in cities like New York City. There has been many reports of a new virus that has been going around New York and other states as of late.
Flu season is proving to be a severe one, and a new variant is spreading quickly. It's known as subclade K, and health experts say it's driving a rise in illnesses and hospitalizations across the country. Joining me now for more on the variant and what to look out for this flu season is HER's Chief Medical Officer, gynecologist, and women's health expert, Dr. Jessica Shepard. Dr. Shepard, it's always great to see you. Let's jump right in with this particular strain of the flu proving to be quite a challenge. Talk about whether this is more contagious and why it's such a problem now.
Yeah, you know, Wade, what we've seen for this one is that they've actually called this new variant the super flu. And the reason why we're calling it super flu is not necessarily the intensity of it, but it's how quickly it's being spread. And so when we look at hospitalizations, that's another reason why we look at how active is this. And for a very high flu activity, we are seeing much more increase in actual admissions to the hospital, and that's only increasing every week.
The mutated H3N2 variant emerged earlier this year and quickly gained dominance across the northern hemisphere, leading many people to wonder about this new virus. Knowing The Simpsons has a history of predicting these things, it didn't take long for people to find an episode that seems to have predicted this all the way back in 1993, over 30 years ago. That episode, which seemed to have predicted the situation, was called Margin Chains. In the season's 4 episode Margin Chains, a factory worker in Osaka, Japan admits to having the flu. He then coughs into a box containing a juice loosener, which ends up carrying the infection all the way to Homer's home in Springfield. When the product arrives in Springfield, Homer opens it and unknowingly contracts the virus. Others who purchase the same juicer also end up contracting the virus as well. Because of this, it triggers a town-wide flu epidemic, infecting everyone in Springfield. Eventually, the virus was called the Osaka flu, and it was labeled a dangerous virus infecting just about everyone in Springfield. This sparks chaos in Springfield, with everyone fearing the virus, leading many of Springfield's residents to start rioting and demanding a cure.
Please don't tell the supervisor I have the flu. I've been working with a shattered pelvis for 3 weeks.
Hey Dad, this came for you in the mail.
Woo! Dreaded Osaka flu has hit Springfield with over 300 cases now reported. And now for an emergency announcement from the mayor.
People of Springfield, because of the epidemic, I have canceled my vacation to the Bahamas.
We need a cure! We need a cure!
Only cure is bed rest. Anything I give you would only be a placebo.
Where'd you get these placebos?
Strangely, there are some striking parallels between the Simpsons' fictional Osaka flu and the current real-world virus. Some people online have started to wonder if the Osaka flu could be a Simpsons prediction for the real-world H3N2 variant. Similar to the town-wide spread in the episode, current 2026 data shows major cities like New York City are dealing with the high number of flu hospitalizations recorded in a single week. Now in the show, the lack of a solution for the Asuka flu leads to mass panic and rioting. While people aren't rioting in real life because of this new flu, I believe the rioting in the show could be seen as a match with the recent protest that has been escalating all throughout the country alongside of this new flu. Now let me ask you this. Is it just a coincidence that The Simpsons seem to predict another world event so accurately? Or is there something that we're missing here? Considering The Simpsons' reputation, who knows?
So, well, mind you, this is not quite going on everywhere yet. Well, preferably it doesn't, but it does give pause to get the flu vaccine, which I don't normally do, but I have folks that live and die by it, literally. So, but what do you guys think? You guys think this is something, or is it just something that just gassing us up with? Let's continue.
Knows. Now, this isn't the only thing The Simpsons seem to have predicted that seems to be coming true in 2026. In recent years, the world has been seeing the rise of AI. For a while now, people have had AI on their phones and in their cars, and now it's being reported that 80% of homes have become smart homes. Smart homes are homes that use internet-connected devices to automate and remotely control functions like lighting, heating, security, and appliances via a smartphone or voice assistants. Essentially, the entire home is powered by AI technology.
We're outside what might look like kind of just any other high-end model home, but this is the first ever prototype smart home of the future, and we are getting the very first look inside.
From the robot vacuum cleaners cleaning your floors, to the Alexa devices answering your questions and controlling your appliances, and now even smart fridges powered by AI, technology has fully consumed the home. For many years, people have warned against the possible dangers of over-embracing advanced technology.
Turn now to the new warning from the so-called godfather of artificial intelligence and his message about the jobs of the future. This morning, Geoffrey Hinton, the so-called godfather of AI, has a new warning about the technology he helped create.
I often say 10 to 20% chance they'll wipe us out.
In a new interview with podcast host Stephen Bartlett, Hinton, a Nobel Prize-winning computer scientist, says super-intelligent machines could one day decide humans are no longer needed.
It's smarter than us, right? There's no way we're going to prevent it getting rid of us if it wants to. If you want to know what life's like when you're not the apex intelligence, ask a chicken.
Hinton also warning of the many threats artificial intelligence poses right now.
A warning that no one took seriously, it seems. Now in 2026, we have replaced just about everything with AI technology. Many companies are promising that literal humanoid robots will become available for purchase very soon. This
video went out 10 hours ago. The day is the 15th of January. But fast forward into now, they do have options to where you can put a down payment down on robots. You really can do it. So I think I'm gonna get a few more clips and put with this video and continue to see what else they're predicting. But totally amazing. Back in the day, they kind of the Jetsons, they were saying, oh, we're gonna have flying cars, and we don't quite have those yet, but they do have protocols, some concept vehicles out, but I don't see everybody flying cars right now because these folks could barely drive when it's raining. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to have some level of intelligence and definitely have a pilot license to drive a car. So, all right, guys, let's continue.
This was the next step in technological advancement that many people warned about, and that The Simpsons seemed to predict was coming over 20 years ago. The Simpsons seem to have predicted this AI takeover, specifically robots in our homes, in several of their episodes. In the Simpsons episode BI, Artificial Intelligence, from season 17, Bart falls into a deep coma after attempting to jump from a window into a swimming pool. To cope with the loss, the family adopts a robotic boy named David. The robot is polite, well-behaved, and quickly becomes the better son, eventually literally taking Bart's place, showing how the humanoid robots will be accepted into our homes with an open heart.
Okay, your robot son is good to go. You want me to boot him up?
Okay. Ow! Mom, that hurt! He knows how to push all my buttons.
And here's how the push is.
He's great with the neighbors. Diddly ho, there's no bot like a robot. Oh.
Ethical implications are really tensing me up. Did you replace me with this Tinker Toy?
Replace is such an ugly word. We upgraded.
This isn't the only Simpsons episode that seems to be coming true in 2026. The episode Them Robot from season 23 seems to make a similar prediction, this time with robots taking over people's jobs. In this episode, Mr. Burns fires the entire staff of the Springfield nuclear power plant to avoid paying for human medical costs and legal liabilities.
So you guys know that reluctantly, you're going to have to learn about AI. Specifically, AI prompting. They got a number of AI tools out there. I'm definitely an AI proponent. I use it almost on a daily basis, but I can see how it becomes like a threat or make a person reluctant to use it. My main question is they got a ton of AI software. And it was almost immediately once they introduced ChatGPT. And it's amazing how a lot of things that we're experiencing, we're just getting the watered down version of it. Just think of what AI could truly do. You know, the companies that are putting out AI now, like ChatGPT, I think they found the founder dead or something. Somebody just passed away that had something to do with ChatGPT not too long ago. But I forgot who it was. Well, I know that owner of ChatGPT is mad rich, a billionaire with a capital B. But they're giving us the watered down version. Just think of what that technology could really do, like could really, really, really do, in the hands of the people that actually created it. So, and with us, all they're doing is getting data from us, learning our society, learning what we ask it for, learning what we search for, learning what we deem a need for that technology to do, and they're gonna flip it on us to some degree. I'm almost sure that's gonna happen. But thing is, they're still ahead of it and invest in the software.
He then replaces all human workers with a fleet of robots. He keeps Homer as a sole human employee to serve as a meat sack, a scapegoat for any potential meltdowns. By the end of the episode, the robots turn on Homer and Mr. Burns, chasing them through Springfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the future masters of the human race.
Ah, Comic-Con nerds!
You fool, these are robots. You will train them, and they will replace you.
Deactivated. Our new primary directive becomes removing all impediments to the plant. Eliminate impediments.
I'm doomed!
In this episode, we see companies completely replace their workers with humanoid robots. Just like it's expected, many companies are likely to start in 2026. Many reports indicate a significant majority of companies integrating or planning to integrate automation, with 77% either already using or actively exploring AI. By the end of 2026, 80% of enterprises are projected to have used generative AI or deployed AI-enabled applications, a substantial increase from 2023. When it comes to robotics specifically, 71% of organizations are either currently using robotics or have concrete plans for integration in the near future. Half of surveyed businesses are already using robotics, and nearly half of those not currently using robotics plan to start any time now, such as Tesla's Optimus or Figure AI, which are currently being trialed in warehouses. Even the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report predicted significant labor churn, mirroring the episode's themes of human scapegoats in an automatic workforce. This has led people to look at these Simpsons episodes as predictions that are coming true this year for better or worse. Again, this could all just be one big coincidence, or these Simpsons writers know something we don't. Either.
You know what? All you gotta do. I don't have the answer to anything, but for what I can do. But your kids and young people, man, teach them how, what should I say, give them advice of learning trades, like plumbing, electrical work, HVAC type, jobs and things like that, to own their own businesses. Even sewer, being a sewer type person, I forget what they call them, but if you're dealing with sewage lines and septic tanks and things like that, that is big money. Big money. You get your CDLs. That's really, really good money. You know, if you don't want to deal directly with technology, everybody's not technically, inclined or even want to deal with technology. I mean, I do. I love it. That's what I do, day in, day out. I deal with technology, but those jobs, those particular trades are not going anywhere. And you have a lot of people that are being retired from those jobs. So when you get older, you don't want to be working so hard, but young folks go into those fields, and you're guaranteed to make a bag, at least until you figure out what you want to do in life.
Way, we can all agree that it is quite strange just how many times they seem to coincidentally accurately predict what's going to happen years in the future. They should coincidentally make an episode with the winning lottery numbers, am I right? I'm just kidding. I don't play the lottery, but you get my point. Every time this happens, I'm stuck looking at The Simpsons again. Like, how in the world? To me, it seems they know something we don't. They seem to have that life script provided by the Order. I want to know what you guys think below. Is it just a coincidence, or do they have access to information that we don't? Well,
who knows? Who knows? I mean, everything is everything. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Let me see what these other folks are saying. Who knows? We can contemplate all the time, all day long, but what's actually happening is, who knows? I don't know. Let me see what else we got here, guys. Oh, Lord. Just 8 days ago, the limited predictions made for 2026. Is that 2020? Yeah, 2026. Oh, Lord. They got Trump on here as well, too. The Simpsons predict will blow your mind. Which one is y'all what it was? Just 5 months ago. Let's look at the one that's most recently. And see, this is the one we just watched 10 hours ago. So this right here is 8 days ago. Let's see what it is.
Is there a tactic or a strategy to make me a better learner? Especially someone that does this podcast. I get to meet people like you, so I want to store everything. Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Pop culture oracle The Simpsons has predicted more doom and gloom for 2026. For 2026, the predictions range from a new type of flu, an AI taking over jobs, to alien sightings and another world war. Even if some of the predictions aren't correlated with specific events or dates, viewers have taken notice that some could be hinting at events that are imminent. For example, in a 2012 episode titled Them Robot, AI starts to take over the jobs of the people who live in Springfield. The 2012 episode sees Mr. Burns replacing his employees with robots.
Comic-Con nerds! You fool, these are robots. You will train them, and they will replace you.
Oh, yeah, we saw
who
this.
ultimately turn on him, and his laid-off workers come to his rescue.
All right, so what else I got?
In this Season 5 episode, Homer Simpson is chosen by NASA to go into space with astronaut Buzz Aldrin in an attempt to make space travel more appealing to the average man.
Grace Banyan and Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon.
Second comes right after first.
And of course, who could forget the all-female crew, including Katy Perry and Gayle King, who went up on a brief trip to space on Blue Origin's Shepard rocket as part of a tourism flight back in April. This flight sparked the idea that space tourism could be in our near future. A 1993 episode of The Simpsons called Marge in Chains.
That's some of the same stuff, guys.
Highest number of flu hospitalizations recorded, operators, doorbells, and robot vacuums. There have been quite a few recent theories about alien life, and a 1997 episode titled The Springfield Files could be giving fans some insight into the future. In the episode, 2 FBI agents come to investigate an alien that Homer claims to have seen in the woods.
Don't be afraid.
Yes.
With the recent highly anticipated release of the Epstein files and ongoing speculation swirling around the Manhattan-sized, billions-year-old interstellar comet 3I Atlas, some are wondering whether The Simpsons may have eerily anticipated these events as well. There have been several references to World War III in the run of The Simpsons, and fans are taking note this year. In 1995, the Lisa's wedding episode shows her fiancé, Hugh Parkfield, in the future, talking about World War II, with Homer and Moe as well, as a succeeding global conflict.
You know I rather like this pub.
Oh, an English boy, eh?
You know, we saved your ass in World War II.
Yeah, well, we saved your ass in World War III.
That's true.
So whether they're eerily prophetic or just wildly lucky, one thing is clear, The Simpsons.
So we haven't had a World War III. So I'm catching up. All right. That's what the prediction is.
Simpsons is always one step ahead of the game.
All right, family. We're going to wrap this one up. What is this? 5 days ago. What's this? So these are the scary predictions.
Politics, technology, and world events. And more than a few of those jokes ended up happening for real. But the predictions that haven't happened yet are gaining the most attention, especially as we get closer to 2026. Today we're looking at 10 predictions from the show that could realistically happen by 2026. So let's start with our first prediction, colonizing Mars. Out of all the strange possibilities The Simpsons has ever tossed at viewers, one of the most unexpectedly believable is the idea that humanity could be living on Mars sooner than we think. In the 20s.
So, what do you think the flat earthers are saying about Mars? Have you guys, should we do a video on flat earth and what they're believing? So if you believe in the flat earth, that means that Mars does not exist. That means that they're also saying that we didn't go to the moon. All the pictures I've seen, like everybody else, there's no way that craft could have made it to the moon and back. It's no way. My biggest thing is that why can't we have it went back to the moon? The technology we got now is the room that they had back then for the technology feeding that whole mission was as big as it's a huge room, a huge room of computers, one computer, but it was a huge room, and it fed all the data and received all the data. They say that the power that they had in that room at that time, we now hold in our hands via cell phone. Isn't that crazy? And the machines and technology that they're dealing with now, AIs all, is no way in heck they hadn't wanted to go back to the moon. I just don't believe it. Now you just going to the top of the dome and coming down like Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin. I don't know. It's crazy. Do y'all want to get all this video? We may skip through some of it, because I think some of the stuff we've covered already. But let's just take a look and see.
16 episode, The Margian Chronicles. The show takes a comedic but surprisingly grounded look at a private company offering ordinary people a chance to become the first settlers on the Red Planet.
We're preparing to launch the first privately funded manned mission to Mars.
The year they choose for this giant leap, 2026. In the episode, the company Exploration Incorporated promises to build the first Martian colony and begin transporting volunteers within a decade. Lisa, ever curious and hopeful about science, immediately signs up. The rest of the family follows, each for their own quirky reasons. Of course, everything spirals into chaos the way only Springfield can manage. The mission derails, the plans fall apart, and no one ends up leaving Earth. Yet the final gag shows a future where Lisa and Marge are living on Mars in the year 2051, hinting that humanity eventually pulls it off. But here's where things get interesting. While the fictional company is obviously parodying the real-life Mars One project, which has since collapsed, the idea behind it hasn't gone anywhere. In fact, it's more alive now than when the episode aired. SpaceX has repeatedly stated that the first human landing on Mars could happen before the end of the decade, with early cargo missions even sooner. NASA is developing new propulsion systems, long-duration life support tech, and plans for a permanent base that might take shape in the 2030s. Countries that weren't even in the space race years ago are now launching probes, satellites, and long-term research initiatives aimed at Mars exploration. So could 2026 realistically be the year humans begin the first stage of colonizing Mars? Maybe not with families signing up through a TV commercial like in The Simpsons, but we're closer than ever to crewed missions actually being scheduled, funded, and tested. If a spacecraft filled with astronauts finally starts its journey toward Mars in the next few years, this would go down as one of the boldest Simpsons predictions to brush up against reality, something that once felt like a punchline but now feels like a countdown. If a mission to Mars becomes a real project by 2026, it would show how fast the world can change, and that same sense of unpredictability sets up our next prediction. Number 9. Mexico vs. Portugal World Cup Final. Back in 1997, The Simpsons aired an episode called The Cartridge Family, centered around Springfield preparing for a big football match. The writers used the setup mostly to poke fun at how Americans misunderstand the sport.
Come on, you schnorrers! Do something!
But they also slipped in a tiny background detail that fans still obsess over today. A TV commercial announces a showdown between Mexico and Portugal, hyping it as the match that will decide the greatest nation on Earth. The implication? It's being treated like a World Cup final, even though neither team had ever made it that far. At the time, it was pure satire, a quick joke almost buried in the noise. But as the years passed, this random pairing transformed into one of those eerie Simpsons predictions that people claim could still come true.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is base 40.
So far, reality hasn't lined up with the joke. Mexico, despite decades of strong performances, has never advanced past the quarterfinals. Portugal has produced legends like Luis Figo and Cristiano Ronaldo, and even won the Euros, but still hasn't reached a World Cup final either. The closest the two nations ever came to a high-stakes showdown was their third-place playoff at the A playful look at what adult life might hold for Bart and Lisa. The story is filled with over-the-top comedy, failed ambitions, and exaggerated versions of the characters we know. But hidden inside all the jokes is one strangely thoughtful detail: the suggestion that, in the future, people no longer say goodbye. Instead, Nelson, still the same bully, only older, ends a hologram message with his trademark line, "Smell you later."
But I can only pay you in popcorn shrimp. Smell you later!
Bart casually points out that this phrase has replaced the traditional farewell altogether.
I can't believe smell you later replaced goodbye.
Smell you later!
Smell you later.
It's a small throwaway gag, but it taps into something very real about how fast language shifts. Words come and go constantly. The English spoken today barely resembles the English spoken even 50 years ago. Entire generations now communicate through abbreviations, emojis, voice notes, and internet-created expressions.
That's true, because I used to keep my ear to the street. But this is stuff I don't even know. I'm like, what does twin mean? You know what I'm saying, twin? I don't know the definition behind twin. I mean, I have an idea, but what else? Is it twin? On my dead homies, I mean, yeah, I know that. That's a real hood talk right there. What else? But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. This language our kids doing is different. It's mad different. I mean, our language is pretty different too, but it evolves. It evolves.
Expressions that older adults struggle to decode.
I'm gonna get a PC got. Mine's high key sus. It's literally slower than a boomer, and the lag is dead ass so cringe.
Think about how quickly terms like Riz, Yeet, Bet,
Sigma, Cap. Okay, Cap. I mean liar. Ohio, don't know what that means. When they always use bruh. Goat, you always use goat. Let them cook. Yep, let them cook. Bet, we've used bet for a long time. What else? Laughing my butt off. Okay. Busser, yeah, busser. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Then you got the low key and dead ass, that stuff like that.
No cap or sus took over everyday speech, classrooms, and online culture. They weren't just slang. They became part of how people actually communicate. So the idea that a centuries-old phrase like goodbye could fade out isn't as outrageous as it sounds. Goodbye originated from the phrase, God be with ye. Yet most people don't think about that meaning at all. If the word once evolved from a religious blessing into a casual farewell, why couldn't it evolve again into something totally different? Maybe even something silly, catchy, or meme-like. A single phrase can become worldwide within days if a creator, influencer, or viral moment gives it enough momentum.
Is this Smoking Squad?
Gang, gang.
Doctor,
please tell us what's up with our bestie.
Imagine a popular TikTok trend, a breakout TV show, or a digital personality unintentionally creating the next universal farewell. It wouldn't even need to be "smell you later." It could be quick, punchy, humorous, or ironic, something that feels fun to say and easy to share. Younger generations already prefer casual send-offs like "later," "peace," "catch you," "I'm out," or even just an emoji. If a new phrase becomes widespread enough, the old one naturally fades without anyone noticing. In that sense, the
Yeah, I remember my Audi 5000 G. Y'all know that one? All right, I'm black. I'm really black. That was back in the day for Audi 5000 G. Flavor Flav. You remember that? All right. I said okay.
Simpsons wasn't predicting a specific catchphrase. It was hinting at how fragile language actually is. Something we take for granted today could be replaced tomorrow, not because someone plans it, but because culture shifts under our feet. So while "smell you later" probably won't become the official replacement, the idea behind the joke is surprisingly believable. By 2026, it wouldn't be shocking if "goodbye" already feels outdated in certain circles, replaced by something shorter, funnier, and built for—
All right, for all my Christians, I didn't know goodbye stood for or meant God be with you. I could see goodbye going away because of how this world is going. You know what I'm saying? We want to get spiritual about it. I can see goodbye going away because of how this world is going. Try to do away with anything that has to do with God. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just a random thought. I'm thinking about that.
a fast-moving digital world. As language keeps changing, so do ideas about culture and discipline. That leads us into prediction number 7, Australia's unusual punishment. In the 1995 episode, Bart vs. Australia, the writers take one of the show's most chaotic international detours. What starts as a simple question about how water drains in different hemispheres spirals into a global dispute.
Hello, Southern Hemisphere? Which way does the water go in your toilet?
Just a minute, I'll check.
Angry phone calls, political tension, and, of course, Bart accidentally insulting an entire country. Because of the outrage he causes, the Simpson family is forced to travel to Australia, where Bart faces an unusual punishment. A public boot to the backside delivered by an official in front of a crowd. The whole scene is over the top, cartoonish, and intentionally ridiculous. The idea that a government would ever create a legal punishment involving a giant shoe wind-up machine is obviously made for laughs. But what makes this prediction interesting isn't the literal gag, it's the underlying question. Could certain countries rethink how they discipline young offenders in the future? While Australia doesn't allow corporal punishment in courts, parents are legally permitted to use reasonable force in a private setting when disciplining their own children. That contrast creates a strange gray area. Add to that the constant debates happening worldwide about youth crime, juvenile behavior, and whether strict consequences actually help or harm young people. And suddenly this old Simpsons joke starts to look like commentary rather than nonsense. Politicians often float dramatic punishment ideas, not because they'll be passed into law, but because they spark conversations. People argue, laugh, get upset, or demand reform, but the topic refuses to disappear. By 2026, we'll likely see even more disputes about how societies should handle young offenders, whether through rehabilitation, tough sentences, community service, education programs, or controversial, deterrent methods that stir public debate. While a literal booting machine will never appear in a courtroom, the idea behind it, society swinging between strict punishment and compassion, remains incredibly relevant. That's what makes this prediction so strange. It's not about forecasting a specific event. It's about how The Simpsons captured a global tendency to dramatize discipline, exaggerate consequences, and turn justice into a spectacle. The episode takes this impulse and pushes it to comedic extremes, but the core discussion still exists today. So, no, Australia won't be lining kids up for a ceremonial kick anytime soon. But the ongoing debate about how to handle misbehavior and how far punishments should go makes this prediction feel less like a random gag and more like satire aimed at a topic that keeps resurfacing. Debates about tradition don't stop there, which takes us to number 6, Big Ben turning digital. In the 1995 episode, Lisa's Wedding, we jump forward in time and see Lisa as an adult in a world filled with small tech upgrades. Some of those ideas came true later, including video calls, smart devices, and wearable tech. But one joke stood out more than the rest. When Lisa visits England, the camera shows London with a sight that feels off. Big Ben doesn't have its classic clock face. Instead, it shows bright digital numbers that blink like a cheap digital watch.
Wow.
It looks wrong on purpose. The writers used it to make fun of the idea that modern updates could replace old landmarks and turn history into something too practical.
Whoa, man, amazing car. When did you become a millionaire?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the
The
That
odd
could very
thing is
well
how
be
often
so.
this joke returns in real life. Over the years, fake news stories and April Fool's posts claimed Big Ben was getting a digital screen for the modern age. Enough
1980,
people
wow.
believed it that newspapers had to clarify it wasn't true. Some people felt the idea insulted the building's history. Others said younger people struggle to read analog clocks, so a digital display might help them. Some schools already removed analog clocks from exam halls because students found them confusing. Digital displays fill phones, computers, cars, and public spaces. In a world built on speed and simple design.
So they taken out the analog clocks because they felt like the students found them confusing. Why do they coddle our children so much? Let them learn. We had to learn. I just noticed that too. I think I was a young person that was. I asked her what time it was, and they had a watch on, but they didn't look at their watch. They just picked up the phone. Just picked up the phone. I don't know. I don't think they wanted, but they had trouble reading the time. Was I watching something? I did see it was somebody had some difficulty.
Look, still, cities deal with arguments like this all the time. Renovation plans and lighting changes often spark long debates about what should stay and what can change. So while a true digital conversion is unlikely, the idea behind it isn't far-fetched. People feel torn between keeping history intact and making things easier to read or maintain. As this tension grows, even famous landmarks face unexpected proposals. Big Ben won't switch to glowing numbers anytime soon, but the question it raises, how much modernization people will accept, matters more each year. That brings us to prediction number 5, a major environmental disaster. When the Simpsons movie came out in 2007, its main plot focused on an environmental disaster so extreme and chaotic that most viewers treated it as a joke. Springfield's lake turns into a toxic mix after years of careless dumping and shortcuts. Officials finally start cleaning it, but Homer ruins the effort by throwing a silo full of pig waste into the water. The contamination becomes so severe that the government traps the entire town under a giant dome. The setup looks absurd, but the warning behind it feels real. A single environmental failure that grows beyond control isn't rare anymore. Rivers have caught fire, major coastlines have seen dangerous pollution spikes, and lakes have collapsed due to algae, toxins, and industrial waste. What used to feel like cartoon exaggeration now shows up in news reports. A giant dome covering a city will never happen, but the fear behind the idea still matters. What happens when a disaster grows faster than the systems built to stop it? Scientists have said for years that environmental damage can escalate once certain limits are crossed. In some places, pollution spreads faster than teams can contain it, leading to drastic and expensive solutions. Climate-related crises have become more common, and they cause more damage now than in past decades. Heat waves, chemical spills, wildfires, and failing ecosystems force officials to make tough choices. The dome in the movie works as a symbol for these kinds of interventions. Steps that seem strange or severe, but aim to protect the public when nothing else works. By 2026, we won't see Springfield-style containment, but the chance of a major environmental event that needs bold action is much higher than it was when the movie released. The detail that makes this prediction feel unsettling is how simple the cause was. The movie didn't use aliens or sci-fi tech. It showed plain negligence, careless actions building up over time. Real environmental crises often start the same way, slow, unnoticed, until the damage becomes too big to ignore. Concerns like these highlight how easy it is to miss threats that grow in the background. And that takes us to number 4, the message behind Even at Nioj. In the 2001 episode, New Kids on the Blech, Bart stumbles into the world of manufactured pop music and overnight fame. He joins a boy band called Party Posse, a group built not on talent, but on clever marketing and cutting-edge technology, meant to hide their total lack of singing ability. Their first music video looks like standard early 2000s pop chaos, flashy visuals, synchronized dancing, and a beat designed to lodge itself in your head. But then comes the strange part. A chorus of voices chants the phrase, Ivan et...
Hey guys, can you believe that Amazon made billions of dollars and only paid 0 in tax? Isn't
Nioj. At first it sounds like nonsense, just another surreal joke. But Lisa, being Lisa, listens closely and realizes the phrase reverse spells join the Navy. Suddenly the episode shifts from simple comedy to a tongue-in-cheek commentary about hidden persuasion, media influence, and how easily entertainment can mask deeper agendas. While the episode exaggerates the concept for laughs, the core idea isn't entirely predict
let's
as
move
well.
forward.
That takes us to prediction numbers 2. Ivanka Trump running in 2028. In the 2016 Treehouse of Horror 27 episode, Homer wanders around on Halloween dressed as a rough, homemade version of Bender from Futurama. During the scene, he points to a sticker on his outfit that reads Ivanka 2028.
Because in America, everything's way too early. See?
It's a tiny gag, almost easy to miss, but it instantly became one of those oddly specific political nods that The Simpsons is famous for. The show had already surprised viewers by hinting at Donald Trump holding office years before it happened.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
So another Trump-related reference drew attention fast. The joke works because it plays on a simple idea. Political families often remain in the spotlight long after one member leaves. Ivanka Trump already held a high-profile advisory role during Donald Trump's time in office, placing her in countless political discussions and global meetings. Even if she never planned to run for anything, her...
I'm thinking about the mama. What is her name? I don't know. His ex-wife. That's what I'm thinking about. I didn't think about Ivanka. I never thought about her. Never know. You never know. You never know.
visibility alone was enough for The Simpsons to poke fun at the idea of another Trump campaign decades later. What keeps this prediction alive is how unpredictable American politics has become. Public figures once seen as celebrities or business leaders sometimes shift into political roles without following traditional pathways. The Simpsons use this trend as fuel for satire, but it mirrors a real pattern across modern politics. As of now, Ivanka has made no formal announcement about 2028 or any future election. She stepped back from political involvement after leaving Washington, focusing instead on private life. But stepping back doesn't erase public curiosity. Whether Ivanka ever chooses to pursue a campaign or not, the joke continues to spark debates. Some viewers treat it as another case of The Simpsons making an oddly accurate prediction. Others see it as a commentary on how quickly politics can shift, sometimes rewarding fame over experience. Either way, the sticker from that Halloween segment keeps reappearing online anytime political conversations heat up. By 2026, the early stages of the 2028 election cycle will be underway. Rumors, trial balloons, and early positioning often begin 2 years before a presidential race. That means if Ivanka ever intends to step back into public life, the window where that decision would surface is approaching. The probability remains uncertain, but the timing lines up closely with when speculation typically begins. So while the original joke was meant to be lighthearted and exaggerated, it remains one of the most discussed future references from the show. The Simpsons didn't claim it would happen. It simply highlighted how politics sometimes repeats itself. Progress. Number 1. Hover cars. In the 1992 episode,
I can see
Itchy
hover cars.
and Scratchy the movie, a frustrated Homer tries to teach Bart a lesson by refusing to let him watch the long-awaited cartoon film. The story jumps forward decades into the future, showing an older Homer and Bart finally heading to the theater. During this short scene, a background shot reveals something striking: a person casually piloting a hover car, a vehicle floating above the ground as if wheels no longer mattered. In the early 90s, this sight was pure science fiction, the kind of idea reserved for comic books and futuristic cartoons. The concept had appeared in magazines and motor shows, but always as a faraway dream with little supporting technology. The Simpsons used it as a simple visual cue to say, look how far society has advanced. No one watching expected it to match real progress anytime soon, but today that once impossible vision feels much less far-fetched. Engineers and transportation companies have spent years working on new methods of travel that break away from traditional road vehicles. Electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, magnetic lift platforms, drone-based transport units, and even small personal flyers have moved from lab experiments into early-stage testing. They still look nothing like the cartoon version, but the underlying idea, a vehicle that rises above the pavement, is actively being developed. Some prototypes already lift off the ground by using focused air pressure, rotating blades, or magnetic fields. Others aim to blend aircraft design with car-like controls so that ordinary users could operate them safely. The main challenges aren't imagination, they're laws, safety systems, energy efficiency, and infrastructure. Cities aren't yet built to support sky-level traffic, landing platforms, or charging systems for airborne travel. Still, progress keeps accelerating. By 2026, we might not see hover cars sold at dealerships, but we may see more advanced prototypes, early consumer demonstrations, or pilot programs in select regions. Governments and private companies are already studying how to regulate new flying vehicles, which shows how seriously the concept is being considered. What makes the Simpsons reference stand out is how casual it appears in the future world. The car isn't a luxury item or a dramatic reveal. It's simply part of daily life. That's the real dream behind hover vehicles. Transportation that frees people from congested roads and offers a new sense of movement. The episode shows that moment as normal, effortless, and even a little funny. If engineers solve the remaining obstacles, hover-type travel may become as familiar as electric cars are today. It will take time, planning, and countless tests, but the shift toward alternative transport is already underway. The cartoon scene wasn't predicting a specific model. It was hinting at a future where travel looks entirely different from the world we know now. Whether these predictions happen or stay as jokes, The Simpsons has a way of showing the world before it changes. Some ideas seem wild, others feel possible, and a few look closer than ever. As we move toward 2026, how do you feel about it? Excited, worried, or something else? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video.
I don't know. How you guys feel about it? Excited, worried, something else? I don't know. I just know that this world is definitely changing fast. It's fast. So, you know, I want you guys to get caught up in your time. Just make sure you accomplish what you need to accomplish, because the way you looking to accomplish it right now may look totally different in the next 2 years. Like totally different. So that's what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Or just a little research, a little commentary. That's about it. I didn't see anything huge that we didn't really kind of know about coming up in 2026, but you know, things change and they change rapidly. So I pray you guys continue to stay safe. Thank you. If you're here for the first time, please like the video, join the family. It's absolutely free. I promise you. And also leave your comments. Let me know what you guys say. Ladies, let's let each other know. You know, just have a conversation around it. So, but again, your boy's back. It's been an absolute pleasure. Much love to you guys. Much love to you beautiful people. And I'm gonna see y'all next video, all right? Much love, all right? Peace.
Big guy antics. I'm out.